All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting 27 of the Parks and Environment Committee, everyone. Good morning. I need a deeper voice. Welcome to meeting 27 of the Parks and Environment Committee. Look at our audience, it's just a packed room. Obviously, we're doing everything right. Welcome to members of committee, and no other members are in attendance, and nobody from the public. Unfortunately, for those in the room, well, the screen at the back, I'll just go through it. It provides real-life entertainment for those who want to follow, www.toronto.ca/council. The Parks and Environment Committee gratefully acknowledges it is meeting on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas, the New Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee, Huron-Wendat, and home to many diverse Indigenous peoples. All right, so any declarations of interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none. Can we have confirmation of minutes from our April meeting? Is that Councillor Layton? I thought that was a... All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Great. All right. And we will go, we have no speakers, but we'll just go through. We have a short and sweet agenda, 4 items. Let's go through the agenda. PE 27.1, adaptive reuse of buildings M and T in Ashbridges Bay Park. That's my item. Does anyone have any questions or anything like that? Do you want to just adopt? Do you want to put it on the screen for the large audience? So I'll just before we adopt staff recommendations. This is the kids in our neighborhood call it the crown or the giant's dentures, actually teeth. So it's building, this is called Building T. Where's Frank? Is right there, from Toronto Water. And there's also Buildings M. We couldn't really find a picture, but it's kind of, it's the more beautiful building, actually. But we have a chance to, as you know, we are doing, Toronto Water is doing huge work over here, building new pumping stations and decommissioning these. So we are looking for adaptive reuse of these. It's a few years out, but we are getting started early. So, because it's an 8 to 10 year project, we're just working on it, and we've already bringing everyone together to discuss. Okay. All right. So, all in favor? Oh. We can brainstorm ideas. Giant hot tub. Okay. I will tell you that. Yeah. What? Oh, nice. I will tell you, what is it, 65 meters down? Take an elevator, Frank?
Yes, that's correct. They're both, well, this particular building is a deep shaft. The other one is, in essence, a deep basement.
So it might be rock climbing or skydiving or something. Richard's been in it. Frank's been in it. So huge opportunity close to the waterfront. In wonderful Ward 32. So love your support. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. PE 27.2, installing bike tune-up stations in Toronto City parks. Do we have any questions? There's a motion coming. Okay, so let's just hold this down until we get the motion. And that, if that's okay. PE 27.3, funding update, Municipal Greenhouse Gas Challenge Fund.
I think we should get an update. Why don't we get a small presentation?
Okay.
How's it going, Marco? Here, I'll do it in the form of a question. How's the fundraising effort going, Marco? You just told me 2 seconds ago to say the same thing.
Sorry, can I answer that first? Just to let you know, Marco's performance planner requires him to raise $150 million by the end of the year, so he's only 1/3 of the way there. So he's got a bit more work to do.
What happens if he doesn't meet that target?
He doesn't get it.
That's good to know. Think it'd more be a haircut or.
Why is he saying all the things I should be saying?
I'm channeling my inner Maria. What are you doing?
Yep, we're waiting for you. Yeah, you. It's time to brag.
Sure. So the city's been quite successful so far with its fundraising effort to mobilize the necessary capital to fulfill the targets as identified in Transform TO. Our recent successes with the Municipal GHG Challenge Fund. This was a competitive application process where the city took a series of applications across its operations to the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. We were successful with 10 major greenhouse gas emission reduction projects. The provincial contribution is $52 million, and this will help us, deliver on high-performance buildings, expanding and building out low-carbon thermal energy networks, deploying electric vehicles, including battery electric buses as part of the TTC fleet and conversion of its green fleet, and utilizing biogas as energy from waste. So we're off to a good start. I guess I'm 1/3 of the way in terms of my target. And there's also a variety of other programs from the province and the feds. Some of it's linked to the cap and trade markets that we are actively pursuing and submitting applications to. So should be a new update sometime in the near future and hopefully more success.
Anything goes in this committee. Well, when it's money.
He's only 1/3 of the way there. When he's 30% more, that's when you clap.
We like to encourage people. Yeah. Okay, so did anyone want to move the staff recommendations? Councillor Ashbridges? All in
And
favor?
congratulate staff on their
Congratulate-
efforts.
Yes, absolutely. All in favor, opposed, that carries. P 27.4, Home Energy Loan Program and High-Rise Retrofit Improvement Support Program Update. Okay, and so Councillor Layton has questions for staff. Councillor Ashbridges afterwards.
Yes, thank you very much. So just a couple of questions on the progress of the HELP program. It seems like the high-rise program is actually doing quite well, and congratulations. It looks like it's moving forward. But we're still kind of struggling to get from pre-application to completed retrofits in the HELP program. I'm wondering if you could give us some insight into why we think there's such a dramatic drop-off from pre-application's expression of interest to final completed retrofits.
Through you, Chair, there's a variety of reasons why a homeowner who expresses original interest in the program may drop out. The largest factor that we've seen is the inability for homeowners to acquire lender consent. So in the case of homeowners who have mortgages, they're required to get consent from their lender. Other homeowners may just drop out because they're no longer interested in undertaking energy retrofits. They've sought alternative financing, maybe from their bank. So there's a variety of factors.
Can we talk about why mortgage, what requires mortgage lenders, what requires applicants to get mortgage lender consent?
Right. The nature of the program involves the city imposing on participating properties a local improvement charge, which is a charge that's added to the property to repay the amounts provided for the home energy retrofit. The nature of that local improvement charge is similar to taxes in that it has a priority lien on the property. Because of this nature of this financing, when we were developing the program, we worked closely with the bankers community through the Canadian Bankers Association and their members, and we agreed on a lender consent process whereby a homeowner is required to get consent for the maximum amount that the city is willing to provide for the home retrofit. And one of the key issues is that CMHC, who is one of the largest mortgage insurers in the country, has taken a position that they're unwilling to extend the mortgage insurance to properties that have insured mortgages, and that therein lies a challenge with homeowners and their ability to get that sign off.
But even homeowners who don't have CMHC insurance are finding it difficult to get their insurance, their mortgage lender to give consent, correct?
Correct.
What needs to change in order to address this?
So there's federal regulations that regulate how mortgages are approved and underwritten in Canada, and support from the federal government in that regard to sort of carve out an exception for municipal LIC programs like the one we have here, certainly would go a long way. We've seen in other jurisdictions, like in California, they establish loan loss reserve funds as a backstop in the case that, some of these payments or debts go bad. That would also be supportive.
How's that Cheerio initiative doing now? Do we know, have we gotten any updates? This was the other municipalities in Ontario watching what Toronto was doing.
Right. It's been dormant as of late. But there's still, municipal conversations happening because there's interest in bringing forward a regional LIC program. Toronto's currently the only jurisdiction in Ontario that has programs like Help and High Rise. So the intent is trying to build together maybe a network of municipalities who'd be interested in offering this type of program.
Now, would Toronto be in a position to, and we've talked about this before, I think, to deliver a program like that for other municipalities as a fee-for-service arrangement?
It's not, potentially. There's probably alternative delivery model that would leverage a third party who could do the marketing, the outreach, to sort of drive sales for the program, and then the municipalities could do some more of the back office, contracting, imposing of the charge on the properties. That's one example.
Someone like Green Saver, Windfall Ecology, one of those kind of outfits?
Potentially.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Layton. Councillor Ashmary has questions.
My question has been answered. I just wanted to say a couple of...
Sure. Do you want to speak?
Yeah, very briefly, just to say that I had gathered all of the mid and high-rise owners of apartment buildings in my neighborhood, and I invited them to a meeting to know more about this. I can't tell you how successful it was and how one of our staff, Adoranke Akande, was just excellent in putting forward the proposals, what the city could and could not do, and really stepped up to make the audience feel as though Toronto, they had a partner in the city of Toronto. So I wanted to publicly acknowledge the work of staff in this regard.
Thank you very much. That's always great to hear. So would you like to move, anyone like to move the staff?
I'd like to speak to the item.
Oh, sorry, to speak.
Yes, I have a motion. This is actually was tabled at the last time we got an update. It was a recommendation from staff, I believe, that the City Council requests the Government of Canada to address the legal and policy barriers that appear to contribute to lower participation rates in local improvement charge programs, particularly for property owners with default insured mortgages. 2, City Council requests the Government of Canada and the Province of Ontario to initiate, as part of their climate change strategies, incentives for owners of buildings and homes to undertake energy retrofit audits that can work in conjunction with existing municipal and utility incentive programs. And 3, City Council expressed its support for the Province of Ontario's home energy labeling plan as part of the climate action plan. I don't know, I lifted this from the last report just because I wanted to actually highlight the first one and express its relevance to the success of this program. But the other 2 also seemed relevant to add into the program. I'm still like, it's a really exciting program that we're moving on to renewables, which I didn't ask about. Oh, I forgot to ask about them, that we were moving to also provide the loan incentive for renewable energy. That's really exciting. In at least 10 years ago when I was working in this space and doing research on this, I don't think there was a jurisdiction that captured both, that said, we're going to do your home, and it was either the home energy retrofit or the renewable. We've managed to get into both. What is even more exciting about this, and I'll nerd out for a second here, is that we have confirmation from legal and finance staff that while at this point in time we are using a fund that's budgeted, there is no reason why we couldn't fund this from debt that doesn't contribute to our debt ceiling. Meaning, City of Toronto would ultimately have an unlimited fund, an energy retrofit fund, and renewable energy fund, because we don't necessarily, it doesn't count towards our debt ceiling. We got that confirmed like 6 years ago now, and we haven't gone that route yet, but we could. We still, though, we're going to have more than 140 deals signed. And so that's where I think we need to focus our efforts. I had an experience this past year, and my partner and I moved to a new home because we were expecting another child. And we did a bit of a renovation. After the renovation, none of it was energy related because we wanted to move in as quickly as we could. And then we would undertake that work. We then had did the energy audit. And I sent an application to the HELP program. It went through rather quickly. I went through a Gmail address, so I tried to not use my personal address to get an idea of how fast these things moved through. And then I went to my mortgage insurer, or my mortgage holder, and I said, hey, like, we're going to do this. It's only a couple $1,000s. It was just some insulation, some air sealing. And I think that was, there was a third measure I had to do to qualify for the Enbridge program. And windows were potentially in play. So it was somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000. This is a house in downtown Toronto. Like, you guys can imagine what they cost. They're the same in all of our neighborhoods that we represent, give or take 6 digits. They told me I would have to reapply, get all my paperwork that I had to apply for the original mortgage, and if you haven't applied for a mortgage in a while, it takes a lot. Like, you got to get all your T4s, you got to get letters from your this, that, and the other. We had just renewed 4 months before. Like, we had just gotten the new mortgage for the new house, and they were going to make us go through all of this stuff all over again. That's a barrier, and like, unless someone's really committed to the program and willing to go through that process again and pay those fees, because there's a legal fee associated with it, it is a major barrier, and banks need to figure this out, because they can't be the ones stopping us. I am told, and I should have asked this as well, that RBC and TD Canada, to their credit, have come up with programs that assist homeowners in this. My mortgage carrier has not. Shame on them. So I hope that over the next couple of months, staff can continue working with the Canadian Banking Association and figure out a way to put their members in the driver's seat and have them starting to support these measures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Layton, any questions of the mover of the motion? Seeing none, would you like to take it as a package? All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Terrific. And then we'll just go back to PE 27.2, installing bike tune-up stations in Toronto City Parks. Any questions of staff? Seeing, oh, okay. Councillor Doucette.
Just to ask why it's not feasible to put these bike repair stations in our parks.
Through the chair, the experience that we've heard about through transportation services and through the TTC is that these stations are vandalized heavily. And so far, there hasn't been a successful installation unless the site is actually protected either by presence of staff or gated at night.
So we could find locations, maybe private owners who are prepared to put a station near their business, where they could lock it up at night. We would be okay with that.
Yes, we think some kind of a programmed space, something where there's either staff and/or volunteers who are working together with the bike community to provide some kind of a service. That would be a really good model to work under, and there's a motion to that effect.
So basically, what we got before us is that because they're vandalized so frequently, it's going to take a lot of staff time, a lot of extra, not so much worried about the money, but it will take money to be out there weekly, replacing them, repairing them, and that really doesn't make sense until we come up with another idea. So that's basically what I'm hearing.
Through the chair, certainly agreeing with Richard's previous response, but also want to direct you to the letter correspondence on this agenda from Cycle Toronto.
Yes.
Which really sort of describes their experience and agrees with the comments that we've made in the report, and also supports the motion that's going forward around programmable space and how that might be able to better support cyclists using the city infrastructure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions? I had one. It's just, but I don't know if Jesse can answer that. It's just, does anyone know where our cycling station is that we were going to create at City Hall way back, like, what, 8 years ago?
Through you, if you mean a repair, do you mean a repair station, or do you mean
No, it was
parking, like secure parking?
I just remember some council members being upset about the showers.
Yeah,
It was a full-on station.
it's under construction now, in the final phase of construction in the parking garage
And when
off of Queen Street ramp.
When will we do a ribbon cutting for that?
In my understanding, it's over budget at this time, so more money has to be approved before completion.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll take this
Not sure what-
offline. Offline. Yeah, you, okay. So anyone to speak on this item? Okay, I have a motion. So this is, here it is on the screen. And so Richard and I actually saw these stations, or heard about them, when we were at a parks conference in where was that, Minneapolis? And so we thought we could do it here, and obviously we've looked into that and consulted Cycle Toronto and our other stakeholders, and witnessed there's a station, I guess, behind us, behind City Hall, that has no tools on it. Everything is ripped off. So we want to have nice things in this city, but right now I think we will we'll just go for this and see if we can just partner with cycling enterprises to figure out some sort of bike trailer, movable, portable kind of thing, or what we can do, because it is a problem. I know that my staff needed a new tire, or needed to pump up their tire, and if Glenda Bearmaker had gone home and he was the only one with a tire pump, maybe you have one, Councillor Layton, in your office, but it's very hard to get anything repaired here when, if we're trying to be a world-class city with all different types of active modes of transportation, then we need to provide for repairs. And so here's my motion. Hope you'll support it. Any questions? All right. All in favor of the motion? Opposed? That carries. Item as amended. All in favor? Opposed? That carries. Any new business or anything you'd like to talk about? Okay. Fantastic. Oh, Councillor Doucette.
I just want to tell everyone that Cherry Blossom is coming to Hyde Park soon. Do not drive. Do not drive. Do you get me? Do not drive. Walk, cycle, TTC. Go early in the morning, go late in the evening. Don't come during the middle of a day, because there's no room to even move. But our city staff, our park staff are ready for everyone with our 40-something porta potties, with garbage cans, placed so they're not in the view of when you're taking photographs of the trees. That's taken into consideration. And we do expect thousands and thousands of people. So cherry blossoms starting in the next day or so. Actually, still probably next week, I think, probably, but come out and enjoy it. Everyone's welcome.
All right. And we're trying to, in the beach, we're trying to take the pressure off High Park with hopefully ours will bloom.
There's a 2-drink now.
Okay, is that on record? Okay. All right, motion to adjourn. Thank you. Short and sweet. Thanks. Thanks, staff.